Welcome to Bayou Time. I'm your host, Taylor McGee. We have the Terrell Parish Sheriff's Office today, Lieutenant Blake Tabor, here to talk about some things that are happening kind of before the holidays. It should be a time for joy and getting together, but unfortunately not for everybody, and that's where y'all kind of come in. Y'all been very busy and active lately. What's been going on?
Absolutely. So we have 4 different cases to kind of talk to today. First, probably the most disturbing, anytime we have a case that's involving the sexual exploitation of a minor, it's never something that's good to talk about, but it's important that we get this information out to the public. So this particular month, we made an arrest on a James Paul Nakans, a 34-year-old male. You see him photographed here. This investigation culminated with the Special Victims Unit doing an extremely extensive investigation in reference to some sexual allegations against Mr. Nakan. Lo and behold, we were able to discover that the victim was under the age of 6 years old, which is always extremely disturbing. Ultimately, we located a multitude of evidence against Mr. Nakan to substantiate the allegations made by the victim. That culminated in his arrest, which he was ultimately arrested for molestation of a juvenile under the age of 13 and also first-degree rape. We obtained warrants on him, and he's currently incarcerated on a $1 million bond right now.
And that wasn't the only thing y'all been up to. Y'all had some other cases as well.
Definitely had some. Seems to be a busy weekend for us this past weekend. So ultimately, the patrol division was called to the 4900 block of Bayou Side Drive in reference to a disturbance that was transpiring. We received information that a Devin Ronzel Odom, 27-year-old male, you see him photographed here, was involved in a verbal disturbance with some family members at a family residence over money, of all things. That culminated in Mr. Odom removing himself from the residence, but shortly after doing so, he armed himself with a weapon and fired a shot into the front yard of that home. That, again, led to our patrol officers being called to the scene, and while our initial responding officers were dealing with the family members and the persons who called, some additional resources were sort of patrolling the property area in an attempt to locate him, which they ultimately discovered him in close proximity to the residence. That led into a brief foot chase where he was apprehended a short time later and arrested. When they came into contact with Mr. Odom, he was found to have at least 2 different types of drugs on his person, along with a fairly large sum of cash. We also discovered that the firearm, which we later located in close proximity to where he was hiding, and officers observed him hiding, was a firearm that had an obliterated serial number. And most people don't understand what that means, but in a nutshell, that is where someone physically uses some sort of tool to either remove or disguise that particular weapon. We are also able to determine that he was a convicted felon through the state of Louisiana. So he received a multitude of charges from illegal discharge of a weapon, flight from an officer, possession of a firearm by convicted felon, illegal carrying of a weapon in the presence of CDS, possession of firearm with an obliterated serial number, possession with the intent to distribute CDS-1, possession of marijuana, and transactions involving proceeds from drug offenses. He is currently incarcerated at our jail on a $30,000 bond.
Yeah, and we remind everybody that these are the allegations as they stand today, that they're innocent until proven guilty, but
Absolutely.
This is the finding of your facts. All right, so we started off with how you've been protecting the community, but also now you need the community's help for some of these next ones.
Absolutely. So, again, it is the holiday season, and that's not indicative of the only time of year where people either run away or go missing, but it certainly lends some bigger impact to us trying to find these people to reunite them with their family. So we have 2 people that are missing at this point. One is a juvenile. He's a 17-year-old male by the name of Jeremiah Jamal John Lewis. He is from Schriever. We were contacted by family members and called to the residence due to the fact that he had been missing for approximately 2 days. Mr. John Lewis is someone that our agency is familiar with and is known for going missing from time to time. That was also substantiated by parents and other family members. We did patrol the area and attempt to locate him, which we were not successful, but we are asking for the public's help in locating this male so we can reunite him with his family. He is described as being approximately 5'8" tall, weighing approximately 150 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. He has been placed into NCIC, which is our National Crime Information Center. But we're asking the public, if someone were to see him, please contact our agency. And then the final person that we have who is also missing, we were called on December 16th at about 10 a.m. We were called to a residence in the area of Isla Cuba Road in Schriever. Once our patrol division got to that location, they made contact with family members of a Dustin Paul Alamon. He's a 39-year-old male. This one's kind of intriguing because we learned that Mr. Alamon had not been seen since December 3rd. So, of course, anytime that happens, we're curious why 13 days was waited so long. But again, you know, family members understand that he's the kind of person that lives a lifestyle where he may disappear from time to time. But he is described as a white male, 6'2", approximately 205 pounds, with bald hair and brown eyes. He is known to frequent some areas such as Morgan Street on the west side of Houma. So again, we ask that anyone that may see him as they're driving around or know him personally to please contact our agency so we can reunite him with family.
Absolutely. And we're all, thoughts and prayers to the family of the John Lewis and the Alamons right now. It's the holidays. We want everybody to be safe and at home. And this is both in the Schriever area too, which is kind of interesting.
That's correct.
Thank you for coming on, kind of updating us on the work y'all been doing before the holidays, reminding everybody that, we may get time off for Christmas, but y'all don't, right?
That's right. That's
and
right.
We definitely appreciate it. So thank y'all for coming on, and we'll be right back with more on Bayou Time.